Good afternoon. This is the 5FM Radio Main News. The headlines: Movement for Change and Equality calls for reflection and unity on National Day of Prayer. Zambia reaffirms commitment to non-aligned movement principles and calls for UN reform. Landmark global shipping deal in Tibia to the United Pressure. This bulletin is live on our Facebook page, 5FM Radio Zambia, and live on our YouTube channel, 5FM Radio Zambia. With the details, my name is Lance Sannie. On the occasion of the National Day of Prayer, Fasting and Reconciliation, the Movement for Change and Equality is calling for a unified national focus on the moral and governance challenges facing the nation, specifically the scourge of artificial poverty created by misrule. Prophet Mario Miti, party spokesperson, this day should serve as a moment for sincere national reform, not for the advancement of political agenda. It identifies the primary cause of widespread hardship: systematic corruption, the plunder of public resources, and the enactment of unjust laws. The party spokesperson says on this day it prays for divine guidance to unite as a country and confront the true obstacles to the individual and collective existence, to overcome the principles and principalities that perpetuate artificial poverty and inequality. The party underscores that the nation is grounded in Christian values and must honor the authentic purpose of prayer to seek wisdom, foster forgiveness, and strengthen unity. Using a sacred day for political maneuvering betrays these core values. He calls on all citizens to join in genuine prayer for a nation led by wisdom and a commitment to the common good. Zambia, through the National Road Fund Agency NRFA, has been recognized as a regional leader in road fund reforms following its successful efforts in establishing sustainable, transparent, and accountable financing mechanism for road infrastructure development. Many African countries have structured their road financing mechanisms and road tolling programs based on Zambia's road fund model. This came to light at a ceremony marking the 30th anniversary celebration of the Lesotho Road Fund Administration held in Maseru, Lesotho, which was graced by that country's Prime Minister, Mr. Samuel Matekane. The Lesotho Prime Minister further acknowledged regional networking and collaboration with other road funds on the continent as a cornerstone for best practices in the management and administration of road funds for the benefit of respective regional countries. And NRFA board chairperson Noel Nkoma said NRFA had equally picked vital lessons from Lesotho, and the agency had strengthened its institutional capacity underpinned by transparency, accountability, and enhanced corporate governance. The 30th anniversary of the Lesotho Road Fund was attained by 8 SADC countries, including Zambia, under the ambit of the African Road Fund Maintenance Funds Association. The SADC countries later held an information sharing workshop under the theme The Evolution and Impact of Road Funds in Southern Africa, Past, Present, and Future.
Road Fund Lesotho has financed critical maintenance and rehabilitation projects, enhanced road safety, and strengthened institutional collaboration with implementing agencies.
We also believe that as a National Road Fund agency in Zambia, we have continued to strengthen our governance protocols. We have also been able to operate in a manner that is transparent to give confidence to the taxpayers that their resources are being deployed in a manner that it is intended to be.
Zambia Sugar PLC has partnered with Zambif to donate 350 pairs of shoes to grade 1 pupils from 4 schools in Mazabuka's Nakambala ward. The Zambif initiative, dubbed Walk a Mile in My Shoes, was birthed in 2024 with the footwear manufactured under Zambif's shoe division, Zam Leather. The benefiting primary schools are Nkabika, Kabanje, Nakambala, as well as Shimungalu. Speaking during their first stop at Nkabika Primary School yesterday morning, Zambia Sugar Managing Director Oswald Magwenzi said the partnership is part of the institution's support to education, health, and general community development. He stated that the two companies chose to support grade 1 pupils as the stage forms the foundation of every child's educational journey, hence thanking Zambi for the initiative.
As a company, we continue to support schools that are in the company, in the community, but also in the country at large. So one thing you can count on is that Zambia Sugar will continue to make a contribution to education because it is one of the foundations of a thriving country. I would like now to recognize the important work that Zambia does in the country. So like Zambia Sugar, they are not only feeding people, they are doing a lot of other things that communities are in the communities. We would not have been able to know about this need that is there. You know, there are so many things that we are working on. If you look at a house, it stands on a foundation. Shoes are the foundation that we stand on.
Earlier, Zambia Products Chief Executive Officer Ms. Faith Mukutu highlighted the importance of the gesture, noting that shoes bring dignity as offer protection from ailments. She noted that with the rains on the horizon, lack of proper footwear can expose learners to various diseases.
We normally do in our shops with the learners out there, especially those that are not our partners, such as Zambia Sugar. Those not only give the learners a good learning experience, but they also bring dignity. Not wearing shoes and you're coming and you're walking here as learners, it hurts, isn't it? So we thought, let's do something about it. Now we're getting into the rainy season. A lot of us don't know that when the learners encounter worms as they're walking to schools, it can cause anemia. And anemia makes the learners be weak.
And Kabika Primary School head teacher, Sister Caroline Muhau, thanked the donors for what she described as a clear demonstration of love for children.
Free education does not mean we leave everything to government. It means that together, parents, teachers, and community members must continue building and sustaining the foundation of quality education. Let's support our children not only by sending them to school, but also by encouraging them, monitoring their progress, and creating a positive home environment that reinforces learning. Let me take this opportunity to thank our teachers who sacrifice and dedicate themselves entirely to the welfare of this school. To our learners, remember this: when you wear these shoes, walk proudly, walk wisely.
And during the same occasion, Nakambala Ward Councillor Kelvin Mulea thanked the Zambia Sugar, stating that this kind of initiative had not been done before, suggesting that it continues into the future. He appealed to the two companies to collaborate efforts in developing Mazabuka to ensure it earns city status by 2031. He thanked Zambia Sugar for the continued community support. Miss Margaret Mioba, Permanent Secretary for Administration at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, has underscored Zambia's commitment to the principles of the non-aligned movement and the urgent need to revitalize multilateralism. In an intervention at the 19th midterm ministerial meeting of the NAM, which was officially opened by His Excellency General J.J. Odongo, Uganda's Minister of Foreign Affairs, on 15th October 2025 in Kampala, Uganda, Ms. Mioba emphasized Zambia's support for reform of global institutions, particularly the United Nations. She delivered the statement on behalf of Mulambo Haimbe State Council, Member of Parliament, and Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. She underscored that an equal representation of developing countries in decision making bodies such as the United Nations Security Council and international financing institutions undermines global equity. On matters of sovereignty and peace, the permanent secretary reiterated the country's support for peaceful settlement of disputes as enshrined in the UN Charter, and Ms. Mioba called for constructive dialogue and cooperation. Ms. Mioba highlighted Zambia's commitment to sustainable development and climate justice. She also echoed the movement's push to bridge the digital divide and ensure equitable access to technology, particularly in critical sectors like education, health, and agriculture. And Ms. Mioba requested the support of non-member states for Zambia's candidate to the UN Dispute Tribunal, Judge Martin Musaluke, in the November 2025 elections scheduled for UN headquarters in New York. Meanwhile, His Excellency Yoweri Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda and chair of the Summit of NAM, delivered a keynote address at the meeting and underscored that economic justice and self reliance were the critical foundation for the global South's development. He called for a collective push towards accelerated industrialization and value addition to transform economies and raise incomes, highlighting that Africa's gross domestic product remains small compared to its population and potential. Kamis Hamza Kamis, Deputy Minister of State, Vice President's Office, Union and Environment of Tanzania, notes that Lake Tanganyika is a valuable resource to the people of the four riparian states. It is the source of livelihood for over 13 million people living in the lake basin. The Vice President was speaking during the 13th ordinary meeting of the Conference of the Ministers of the Lake Tanganyika Authority held in Livingstone, Republic of Zambia, on 17th October 2025. The Vice President stated that this lake has great potential to meet a diversity of social, economic, and development needs of the four riparian states. However, Kamis says government is conscious of the threats to the lake basin as a result of sedimentation, pollution, overfishing, loss of habitats, and other impacts of human activities within the territories of the riparian states. In that regard, the United Republic of Tanzania has continued to implement some of the activities which contribute to sustainable management of this important resource. And in other news trending this afternoon, police in Kasempa district have seized 245 liters of illegally sold fuel during an operation conducted yesterday morning in the Nanseluke area. Transparency International Zambia says its broader public finance management programs have empowered many citizens in Livingstone and surrounding areas with critical public resources are managed. And in foreign news, President Volodymyr Zelensky appears to have come away empty handed from a White House meeting after US President Donald Trump indicated he was not ready to supply sought after Tomahawk cruise missiles to Ukraine. Zelensky said after the cordial bilateral that he and Trump had talked about long range missiles, but decided not to make statements on the issue because the United States does not want an escalation. Following the meeting, Trump took to social media to call for Kyiv and Moscow to stop where they are and end the war. And in sports news, professional sports championship for a team from the state of Tennessee, but Nashville Soccer Club and the Englishman affectionately dubbed Super Sam. Sam Sarridge's winning goal in US Open Cup final earlier this month was just one of 29 as he scored in all competitions this season. That item brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, a recap of the stories that made headlines. On the occasion of the National Day of Prayer, Fasting, and Reconciliation, the Movement for Change and Equality is calling for a unified national focus on the moral and governance challenges facing the nation, specifically the scourge of artificial poverty created by misrule. Ms. Margaret Mioba, Permanent Secretary for Administration at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, has underscored Zambia's commitment to the principles of the non-aligned movement and the urgent need to revitalize multilateralism. And finally, President Volodymyr Zelensky appears to have come away empty handed from a White House meeting after US President Donald Trump indicated he was not ready to supply sought after Tomahawk cruise missiles to Ukraine. For more news, follow us on Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, 5FM Radio Zambia. On behalf of the entire news crew and the technical department, thank you for listening to the happy world of 5FM. Stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM Radio. My name is Lance Sannie. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon.